A lot of mouse remnants. Looks like a murder scene here. Welcome to the Hillbilly RV channel. Today, I'll work on a furnace. Yeah, I know, it's July and we're working on a furnace. But it happens sometimes. Alright, got the furnace out. I want to see if it's still making that noise. Just mainly so y'all can hear it. I think the motor's bad. That's why I ordered a motor. New fan motor for this. Let's put the two blue wires together. Make my last connection up here on the 12 volt. Make sure nothing's touching. Made the noise mostly when it shut down. Let's see. It's not making as much noise as it was, but it still sounds rough to me. So we're going to go ahead and tear it down. We may just find that a fan's rubbing on something. I don't know. And a lot of, let me see if I can show you this. A lot of mouse remnants. A lot of mouse remnants. Looks like a murder scene here. So we might find an old piece of a dried up mouse in one of the fans. Hard to say. But let's get it out of the case real quick and see what we see. In order to get this furnace out of the case, there's a screw here that says only remove for servicing the unit. So we're going to take that out. Alright, let's see how easy it's going to come out of the case. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it ain't. I think this is going to be an ain't. It ain't easy. Yep, gonna be an ain't easy. It's like when you get them moving, they go. But getting them moving, it's the hard part. Ooh, that one's really taut. Really taut. Sometimes you got to take a long pry driver, reach down there and just kind of expand the horizons down there a little bit. What I'm trying to do is just spread this outer case just a smidge. Make life easier on you. Don't have to go crazy now. That is a toy one. There. Now, after that thing's been slid in and out of that case 3 or 4 times, it works a lot easier. So now that we can see, let's take a gander down inside the, oh, where y'all looking? You ever look down here? Let's take a gander down that room wheel. Spin it very slowly. Look, see if we have any mouse remnants. It is a metal fan, so that's good. I see no mouse remnants. Let's see if the motor has any play in it. It does not. It does feel stiff. It does not spin easily like it should. Not sure whether you'll be able to see that or not, but usually when you spin that fan, it'll spin by itself. That one stops by itself. So I'd say that motor is on its way out. So now we got a bunch of screws to take out. These two up here let the also undoes wires, but it also releases the board. It's mounted to a bracket that's mounted to this squirrel cage enclosure. So there's our board. Now we got a bunch of screws over in here that surround this motor where it mounts here. So let me get all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me get all 7 of them out. I'll be right back. I moved over to the shade. Alright, I got most of them screws out down here. Now let's the squirrel cage fan has to come out this way, because this is just not easy to get off. So let me get these 3 screws out of this doohickey, whatever it's called. What's it called, a doohickey? How about that? There's our doohickey. Alright, it has a Allen set screw that holds it to the shaft. Let's find the appropriate size Allen wrench. Oh, that's going to be too big. I know y'all can't see, but I can barely see, so seems fair. That one may be too large too. Nope, there it is. It's in there. Loosen it up. Thank goodness you don't have to go very far. There you go. It already slid down. Now let me see if it'll slide off as easy as it slid down. There we are. We'll clean that up a little bit. It's not too bad. It's just got some dust hanging around in the corners. I usually just take a screwdriver and go down in there and knock that dust loose out of those corners, and usually just blow it out with my mouth. That way I get to breathe all that stuff, which is always pleasant. So yep, I'll do that all the way around. Alright, set it back up on its end here. I got all but one screw out over here. Now I don't want to set up. Set on the Allen wrenches. Alright, last screw. Alright, so here's our motor wires. One goes around town, underneath, back here, to a block of a bunch of ground wires. Let me get that off. Once again, where you can't see, but trust me. Just trust me. If you were doing this job, you were watching this video, you would know exactly what I'm talking about. The red wire goes over here. Well, actually it goes through a connector first and goes over to the board. I gotta cut that zip tie. Maybe I can just squeeze it to death. Yeah, there we are. Alright, so there is our motor wires. Get this off of here. Work our wires through that hole. Alright, there's that. And here is our motor. Oh, now we got a, what do you call, a combustion wheel over here. And it should be the same size Allen wrench as the blower wheel. It is not. It's not even close. It's larger. Look what I see. Look here. Y'all see that black mark? The combustion wheel has been rubbing on the case. So at this point, I'm gonna leave it up to the customer because I don't think it needs a motor. I think this wheel just needs adjusted. But I will leave it up to the customer as to what they want to do. Do they want me to go ahead and change the motor that I brought with me, or what do they want to do? Let me go talk to them and be right back. I took a piece of sandpaper, put it on that shaft because it's really rusty. Just spun it while holding the sandpaper on there. Then I took a straight screwdriver. There's a couple slots in that part of that fan that goes to the shaft. Just kind of spread them a little bit, and then I am going to drop a drop of oil on that shaft. Kind of let that work around a little bit. No matter what they decide they want to do, we have to get this combustion wheel off this motor. See if it's going to slide. Oh yeah. Slid like a champ. Still feels a little tight. Let me get the new one out. I don't know. It just feels weird to me. We spin them both, just go ahead and do it. Alright. Alright. Customer says let's just go ahead and do it. So we have the squirrel cage off the other end. Now this motor just lifts out of here. And this screw is in the way, but you can't get to it because of the flue pipe. So what I'm gonna do is try and pull the fan off the end of the motor. Since I got it sanded and lubed, hopefully it'll come off pretty easy. Famous last words, right? Should come off easy. Still a lot of rust on that shaft. Almost got it. 15th time is the charm. So there's the old motor. Still feels stiff to me. Here is the new one. Now we can get this fan out. Look at it. It looks nice and clean. Wipe up our excess oil though. And the dust made where the plastic parts were rubbing together. All right. Let's slide the new motor in. The motor does have a D-shaped shaft, so you've got to line that up with the blower wheel. There we are. So our old motor does have a couple of nuts on it. We do need to put those on the new ones. It's about to forget. I'm gonna go get a nut driver. Nah, might as well get a wrench. So that's what we're gonna need down in there. So actually, let's pull this motor back out real quick. Take the fan out for a minute. We'll go ahead and get the bottom. Where y'all at? Get the bottom nut on here. Oh, these are physically. Oh, thank you. Motor won't work. It's physically smaller in diameter. We cannot install the new motor because it won't fit. Can y'all see how much difference in the diameter? A lot. Too much. Won't work. Because the way that motor's clamped in there, it's just clamped in that plastic, so there has to be the same OD outside the diameter. So we're gonna have to just put this motor back in and see what it does. All right, so let's put it back together with the old motor. Same as a while ago. Find the D side. And that nut slides down over a little thingy down in there. You would see it if you were doing this. Well, we tried. See all that dust that wheel made? That was a rubbing. Alright, so there's where the motor needs to be. So let's slide this wheel so it's not rubbing on anything. Put it right in the middle, as close as we can possibly get it to the middle. No more rubby. I took the clamp off, so let's put that back on. There's only one way it can go on. Get it tightened back up so that hopefully that fan will not migrate one direction or the other again. All right, looks good there. Let's just reassemble. To reassemble, we're just going to do the opposite of disassemble. There we are. All right, let me get all the screws back in this. I'll get the blower wheel back on and we'll fire it up and see how it sounds. It'll have to sound better, I would say, because it's not rubbing now. Now I will tell you, this is This is kind of my fault, as I did not fully diagnose this furnace the last time I was here. It was making a noise. To me, it definitely sounded like a motor going bad. So I ordered a motor, but it's the wrong one. So let me get this all buttoned back up, be right back. All right, got my propane line hooked up. Let's hook our ground and positive back up. See if it sounds better. Can't sound any worse, I don't believe. Sounds a lot better. Let's see if she fires up. Now that we've disturbed it. There we go. So we will let that run for a few minutes, and we will do it at least 2 more times. I always like to light it 3 times before I put it back in the camper. I figure if it lights 3 times, should be good, right? And I bet you the longer that thing runs, probably the noisier that got. That plastic would get hot, start getting sticky, and I bet it made a lot more noise. So I wished I could have changed the motor, but they sent me the wrong one. It's the only one I could get. So parts for this stuff starting to get obsolete, and it's sad. The refrigerators, the furnaces, I mean, they just want you to buy new ones. So, you know, it is what it is. Don't y'all buy a new one. Get down in that comment section. Leave me a comment, criticism, concern. I'm gonna stop sweating. We're gonna go up the road. Might fix another one. Have a great day. Does your RV have you stumped? Need a little help from an RV pro? Got a problem that's just a little too tough for you to handle on your own? Introducing helpmehillbilly.com. The Hillbilly helpline is here when you need it most. All you need is a basic knowledge of electricity, a test meter, some mechanical ability, and basic tools. We'll walk you through it via Zoom or FaceTime. Just $89.95 a call up to 1 hour. Pay easily through Venmo or PayPal. Get help the Hillbilly way.